Hey. We'll go ahead and kick this off in a minute. Not for too long. Not a full-length session. I see, of course, I already got the chat going with all sorts of bullshit. I expect nothing less. I was just making this track last night. Gonna be kicking it off in a minute here. Knocking out some of this cue. Probably gonna jump right into it. Since it's super easy to watch what you've missed in the past now. No, I never did set. Knock it out for 45 minutes or so. I got the right links in the description. Alright. So we're about to start off with Dom. Amsterdam. And after today, I think I'm going to clear the queue. And then, I don't know what y'all think about, if it opens, 8 hours before the stream starts, maybe. Instead of just all the time. I don't know. Who knows? Who could ever know what the right thing to do is? Oh shit, I forgot to go live on Twitch. I always forget to go live on Twitch. Sorry, Twitch. Y'all missed out on that beat I made. But we're starting out with Amsterdam. Uh-oh, Royce to 5'9", remix, instrumental. Okay, instrumental. Had me worried for a minute. He was about to drop a acapella on me.
Royce 5'9".
Extra layers, the harpsichord, the vibes. Did you play those, Dom? Is that you? Those are different parts of the sample. Good chopping either way. Good way to bring us some variety. I know in the past I said you were lacking variety. So I'm into that. Dirt, turns out I had never heard it before. There's a Madlib track, like an unreleased Madlib track. Did you scratch that, Dom? Shouts for scratching if you did. Pizzeria Tycoon type beat. Hey, I like it. It's smooth. It's got some good variety. Took a lot of good stuff from other samples. Bassline's a little lackluster if you added that. I would maybe filter it out and add your own more engaging bass line. That's just me. Solid though. Dirt. Sorry, what I was saying. So that day at the park track. Let me play it real quick. Yeah, apparently Madlib chopped the same shit the same way. I had never heard it. It was like a unreleased track. Doesn't mean I can't put it out. 'Cause not everyone's heard that. So that's mine. And then this is the Madlib version. Oh no, this is the remade Madlib version. Oh, never mind. He didn't even put drums in it. Never mind, but still, same sample. He chopped up the main part the same way. I'll probably still put it out. I don't really care. Oh, you think it's better? Okay. I like that. Okay. I appreciate that. Yeah, to sum up Dom, I was feeling the drums mostly. I mean, that vibe you were going for, you definitely nailed. Bass line was a little boring, but that might have just been from the sample. So maybe jazz up that bass line. You could probably layer in some more shit on top of the drum break, but it doesn't really need it. I think it does what it's trying to do. But thanks for sending in. Oh, we got activity in the Twitch chat. Yo, Eccentric. How you doing? How's it going? All right. That was Dom. Thank you. All right, next up. I think this is his first time. We got Matt. Let me get his SoundCloud going. Matt, you submitted 2. I don't like to do 2 back-to-back from the same person. So I'll be saving the second one for another time. For the next stream. So I'm going to be playing the first one. So this is going to be Jamie. Let's take a listen.
First time. First time. People first. People first. People first. People try to tell me I love Jamie.
Now you'll stay at the top. But well, I mean, I can knock them both out. If you're here and you want to hear them both now, I can knock them both out. But really, what it'll be like is it'll stay at the top. It'll happen next time, or if it gets back to its end. So this one, the drum sounds are a little hollow. They're not horrible. I would say the hi-hat's the worst out of the drum sounds.
You are the only one I love to love. First time. People first.
I'm sort of feeling parts of the sample.
I love.
And I'm sort of feeling parts of the drum break.
You are the only one I love. You are the only one I love. You are the only one I love to love.
When it like drops out,
I love.
that abrupt drop. I don't know how much I feel about that. part, like the vocal part works, the chord parts, it's a little hard to like tell what's going on, like the guitar strumming or piano, or just the melodic part.
You are the only one I love to love. First time.
Yeah, I would just try and work on bringing some stuff in to work with the sample instead of just being the sample. And I think the drums are maybe a little quiet, maybe, but some of the programming on the drums was cool. Like I was liking that fill. At the same time, that the feel of the drums was a little like having everything like be swung like that. It was just a little too open, a little, just like a little on the boring side. But that sample's got some good textures. I think you could build around that some more and build off of that instead of having it carry it all the way. Cool concept for a track, though. All right. And dope. I'll go ahead and knock out the other one too. I got you. Number 7. All right, so this one's brand new. Let's take a listen. Whoa. I'm getting serious, like Animal Crossing vibes. Which isn't a bad thing. I would say that's mostly from the bass sound. The bass, that bass sound is probably the weak link there. That little organ sample and the other high-end keys instead of the bass can work, but that bass I'm really not a fan of. It sounds like when you go to like a Yamaha keyboard and you're playing, you go to like, you're like scrolling through the bass sounds and you got like rock bass, and it's like, yeah, rock and roll, and that's what that bass line sounds like. Not the greatest tone in the world. It's sort of bringing down the rest of it. But I think you could work with that sample. And what you did with the drums, with the snare coming in early, I'm into that in certain instances. In this particular instance, I could be into it. Because, I mean, that works all the time. I mean, Ja Rule, like, living it up. Living it up's got that. I'm into that there. I wouldn't change that. I would work on the bass. Especially there's a couple notes in the bass line that are a little out of key. Towards the end. But no. And that snare is a little like thin and low key. You said it's kind of crazy in a bad way. I mean, some of it works. That's not something you need to totally trash. The drums could hit a little harder, and I would fix the bass line some. It says that was a collaboration. Who are you collaborating with? I do wonder. I like that little sound effect going on. Yeah, I think you could take that in the right way. I'll just mess with the bass line. Yeah, thanks for sending in for the first time, and thanks for helping me work out the kinks with the critique submissions. And setting your display name and all that. Sorry about all that. Glad it's working now though. That was young Maddie. And sorry PSP. I'm not skipping. Skipping brought nothing but despair last time and chaos. 32 Keys in the Twitch chat asks, is there a way to find the key of a sample? I mean, yeah. There are ways to find the keys of a sample. There are like some like apps that can claim to do it. Some DJ software can claim to do it. I wouldn't say it's ever very accurate. Would anyone use if I put a thing up where you could like submit your beat or submit a sample or something, and like I'll tell you the key of it, because I'm good at finding out the key of shit. I'll tell you the key of it for like $1.50 or like 40 millibitcoins or 99 rupees or something. Would anyone use that? Because I can help you on that quest to find out the key. But it really comes down, I mean, because what I do is I listen to it. You sort of have to hum. You have to like hum some notes until you like find one that like, because when you're looking for the tonic, it's like the root note sort of. It's like a note that's present in all the chords in the sample. And when you have simple chord progressions, that one note will stay the same. Sometimes it's a bit more ambiguous, but you can like hum until you find that note, and then you find that note on like your keyboard, and then you can sort of go from there. That's what I do anyway. It's sort of a trial and error thing. There's no absolute way to really do it. But I hope that helps anything. All right, we got JM up next. You got 3 submitted, so I'll pick one. I don't know where the coin I flip went. I'll have Siri flip a coin for me, I guess. All right, this is JM. We'll have the third one be tails. Hey, flip a coin.
It's heads.
All right, it's heads. So that'll be the first one. Let's see what he's got. Not feeling that drum kit. Accent it. I just watched that Vince Staples video. That dude's funny. The drums. It's really like some Chemical Brothers, like Fatboy Slim. Goofy, like 90s club drums. I'm sort of feeling the sample stuff. Those reverses are distracting to say the least. A bit repetitive. Some of those chops are a bit unnecessary. Those drums are too much for me to handle. Those are like super intense. I don't know if I would ever use those drums in like a hip hop beat, especially not to take them to church. Sample beat. Those drums are like, that's like almost straight out of the 80s. That's almost like Phil Collins' Susu Studio. A little too much. I would, because you could either go like the Just Blaze style, route with that. Or you could do the modern approach, like on All Your Fault, mixing that sample in with like the more modern 808 type shit. But I don't know about those drums. I think that could use a bass line too, a real solid ass low end. Hey Anthony, what up? A real solid ass low end, which it's lacking at the moment. And you could introduce a bit more variety in the patterns. Filter some shit out. Bring in some other shit on top. Some piano maybe with some reverb. Definitely start with some bass after you switch out those drums for something that works better. But that was JM. Or JM. Did I? Yeah, I typed his name right on there. All right. Thanks, JM. All right, next up. Next up, we got Music Hates You All. That's a bit melodramatic. I don't know what that means. But I guess we're about to find out. 21st Century Instrumental. Oh boy. Really not feeling these drums. The samples could work. I can't really hear it. There's a lot of reverb on the drums, which I'm really not feeling. I think these are the drums from the Cha-Cha Slide. I know people say dig for samples, but you don't have to go back to your 5th grade dance for that. I will say that all your synths are in the same key as one another. But I'm really not feeling the drums, sounds, or the patterns. Yeah, I would kill the reverb on the drums, swap out some different samples. Because just as a good rule of thumb, if you mute your drums, or if you solo your drums, play it for a few bars, go to Spotify and type in Walk This Way, Run DMC, and you play that, and you hear any similarity, you should probably change something. So I would start with the drums. A sample could be cool. If you went halftime with that instead of that feel, it might work out better. It's just sort of a goofy feel at the moment. But yeah, so that's what I'll say about that. And Dirk, no, I didn't clear the queue for this one. I'll probably clear it after this stream, and I'll be adjusting when you submit and how all that works, just to even the playing field a little bit and prioritize people who were here for the stream versus having submissions open 24/7. But this one's sort of the part 2 to Wednesdays, where I'm finishing up from Wednesdays. But that was Music Hates You All. Yeah, I would change up those drums. Let's see. Oh, we got some weird ass characters over there in the Twitch chat. Like letters, not people. Alright, next up. Dave, William. He does not have a SoundCloud, but he has this track. I like to cha-cha. It's getting a little... Let's see where it goes. If it comes in hard enough, it'll work. Uh-oh, got the crowd chants. Cha-cha. With a Dominican. The drums definitely a little weak. I have to say I was let down. The notes of the bass line are pretty dope, but they're a little weak. Most of the drums are a little weak. I mean, it's hard to get drums that like really slap in this context. We've had some submissions where people really nail that drum sound. I'm not that great at it because I don't really do it very often. But it's a combination of the samples and the mixing. These samples are a little weak. Well, they're very weak. And then the mixing's not great. I'm right before 7. So. Yeah, I'll start right at 7, but it doesn't take long. Or more like quarter to 7. 10 till, something like that. I will say all the from what I could tell, there was nothing glaringly out of key, despite being very... There wasn't a ton of variety. I mean, you just had those 2 chords you're going back and forth with. There was nothing like that was gross to my ear in a melodic sense, which is good. But the drum samples were very weak. The 808 was a little weak. I would look up some shit on YouTube. I know there's people who have like tutorials to get that exact sound of like 808 Mafia and like Young Chop type shit. And if you like start there and go from there, that might be what you're going for. Might be that super hard shit, which is what I expected to come in with, and that would have sort of saved it, but it was a little weak. So 32 Keys is asking, what VST did I use for the violin and power? I believe that was the Adagio strings from 8 Dio. Was it Berlin Orchestral? It was a big ass library, I'll tell you that much. Adagio, yeah. Adagio violins. 1. It was a solo violin. That was a big ass sample. Big ass sample library. I downloaded like 150 gigs of strings for that remake. But they're good ass strings. Alright. Next up we got Blackout Johnson. Let's see what he's got. Oh, we got the same drums from the other beat. Whoa. Sounds like a fax machine. Like a broken copier. I like when they take your x-rays at the dentist. So these drums are really not doing a ton for me. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, the drums, programming wise and sample wise, aren't really doing a ton for me. That one weird sound is sort of cool. Could be cooler if used in the right way. Sounded like it was behind everything else. You had some, I heard some like velocity ramps on the snare. Those were, I know a lot of people say to mess with velocity. I think you have to mess with velocity in the right way, because otherwise it just sounds silly. Because when you're just triggering the same sample over and over again, you really changing the velocity just sounds. I mean, it's all you're just. It would be the same effect as turning the velocity or the volume knob for that sound. Like if you're riding the fader, which just wouldn't sound good. And if you do want to do velocity stuff like that, what I like to do, like with hi-hats or snares, I'll have like one full volume one and one quiet one, and the quiet one I trim the start a little bit, like here. Let me show you this. Like if I was gonna use this snare, right? So the full volume one would be there. Instead of messing with the volume, I'll just duplicate that, and you play with the start. You skip the attack and go to some of the decay, and you get a nice, you get the same tone because it's the same sample, but and then you can even I think that's a much better source of variety. And even you could do it dynamically like in Ableton. I believe you probably could link like the start point of a sample to the velocity, and so you could have it sort of go through further and further away from the attack as the velocity drops to a certain threshold you set or whatever. This is just in general. I think that's useful for anyone to know. You can do that with hi-hats, anything with a anything with like an attack and a decay like that. I think that's a good way to get some quiet hits. Just a FYI. But yeah, that was just a little, the mix in the chat. Someone was saying the mix is flat. There's just not a lot going on that's interesting or energetic. Things are happening, but they don't make you excited that they're happening. So that's mostly an arrangement thing, a programming thing. And also the drum sounds are a little weak. Some of the other synth sounds were cool, like that weird fax machine, Weed Whacker X-Ray thing. But yeah. Thanks for that, Blackout Johnson. Yeah, you can submit on the site. I probably won't get to you today. Actually, I wouldn't submit now, but we'll submit on the site, make an account, stay up to date. I'm probably going to clear the queue. We'll just start from fresh, or maybe I'll be able to, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's a lot of, I don't know. It keeps growing. I almost at 100, Jesus Christ. I'm going to clear it. We'll start it over so everyone's got a better chance. But yeah, now we got projects. Projects, I guess would be the name. No SoundCloud on this one, just a direct upload. So let's hear it. We got some more Phil Collins, Walk This Way drums. I like the sample. Interesting, Dirk. Dirk says the sound on YouTube is a bit better than on Twitch. Interesting. I'm really not feeling these drums sounds at all. Or that sound effect. As cool as it sounds, it's just from a sample pack. And dropping those in there means nothing to me. Especially when it's that flamboyant of a sound. That low end, just that constant drone note isn't great. It's a cool sample, but those drum sounds are really a bit much. Or they're way too, like, especially that hi-hat is like out of control. And then there's like reverb and snare on the snare. If you like got some drums more like that. Even that hi-hat's still loud. Something way more laid back, something more dusty, something more vintage. I think it'd fit that sample a lot better because the sample's cool. And that bass line, you were just droning one note on and off, and I don't even know if that one note really fit anything. So that's where I would start. Damn, it's almost 6:45 already. I'm only gonna get to knock out a couple today, but glad y'all are here still. We still got good numbers for a Sunday, for a secondary live stream. So I'm glad y'all turned up. It's always good when people show up. Next up, we got Mr. Money. Let's see how this goes. This is out of control. Very hard to comprehend. That piano's in a different key. Not a fan of that. That bass is too much. That bass gotta go. It works on that first note and then it gets weird when you go up. The sounds work. The drum sounds themselves aren't terrible. The programming is straight up incomprehensible. I'll say that much. I don't have a damn clue what's going on. That bass is sort of dope for that one note you're hitting, and then you get some other notes in the mix that don't really work. I like some of those vocal samples. I've heard them. I can't think of what they are at the moment. So I'm very familiar. I'll turn that bass down, and then I straight up do not know what's going on with the drums at all. But the sounds aren't bad, so I would work on the programming and making sure if you drop some samples in there, they're in the same key as whatever you're doing, because I was definitely not. Dom, what's going on? It doesn't work, or you just don't have anything left to submit, or you know it'll be a duplicate. Is that the thing? I gotta know why it doesn't work. All right, next up, that was Mr. Money. Thanks for sending in. That was very out there, to say the least. Next up, we got Stephen T. His direct upload, no SoundCloud on this one. This is like almost kind of hot, to quote Joel. I like the sword sound. I like those drum fills in the background. Let me run that back a little. That tambourine, I would turn down. Or it's cool to have stuff off the grid. The tambourines are a bit off for how loud they are. I think you can get more and more away with having stuff off the grid. I mean, of course, it's good to do it intentionally for the feel you're going on, but with how loud those are and how far they are off the grid, those are awful loud. I would pitch them down a little bit, and if you have any like on Machine, I would throw on the MPC emulation and turn it down a little bit. Maybe if you lined it up with the snare instead, to just come in on like every other snare, some of the snares, that might help. And the sample, like, almost, there's like a major chord in there or something on that first hit that I wish wasn't there. There's not much you can really do about that unless you like load it up a Melodyne and take that note out. But I like the feel of that, that's for sure. And I like all those drum fills and toms and shit. I cannot say this name. Mailbox Arsonist says tambourine shouldn't hit every beat. I agree, like I was saying. You could do that, maybe turn it down in volume. It's just awful out there in front to be so out there in the front, if that makes any sense. I'm digging the feel, though. Thanks for sending that in. That was Stephen T. Next up, we got Jonathan Goalie. Oh, shit. Another direct upload, no SoundCloud on this one. I like how you drop the drum loop, that's for sure. I would turn down the chorus, the detune, the unison on that synth you layered in. This is like actually, it's like, it's really close to being dope. Add some bass, some low end would fill this out. I would EQ those drums a little differently. There's a little too much high end going on. I just think that particular synth patch is a little corny with all the chorus, unison, detune going on there. I like when you hit the harmonies on the synth. You know, if you brought in some piano, some like dusty sounding piano, that might be tight. I'd like that sample though. I can hit with some chords. If you hit some piano in there. That'd be tight. Hit some upright piano. None of that big orchestral grand stuff, but just some hollow. Some piano like that. Slightly out of tune, upright type shit. And then bring in some bass would be cool too. Definitely could use some low end. That's a dope start though, that's for sure. I'm liking that. All right. That was Goalie. Jonathan. Next up, we only got time for a couple more tonight. I'm gonna have to reset the queue. After this one, after this stream today, we'll work the submissions. But next up we got Pharaoh. His track Comfort Food. Let's hear it. Ooh, I like that electric piano. Hey Levi. I see you're getting hate on. Oh. I don't know how I feel about. There's some weird high end on the kick, but the synth, well, I would maybe turn down that slider. This real slidey, glidey synth a little bit. Whoa! Some of the, I really like that snare clap combo. Some of the kicks were like over the top, far off for me, in my opinion. But I'm liking the overall vibes a lot. That's for sure. Yeah, some of those drums were a little too far off, but the synths were all pretty tight. I see you were saying you try to get the synth sounding really big. I think that worked. That real slidey synth was a little too much at times, though. That's tight. Thanks for sending in. All right. We can do 3 more real quick. I'll do 32 keys. I can do Louise. And I can do Dom. So, right now we got 32 keys. He's got YouTube link, but his SoundCloud's 32 keys something. Oh, you're the Daily Planet on YouTube, 32 keys? I didn't realize. Well, now I know. This must be J. Cole influence. It's got the Born Sinner looking icon. All right, let's hear it. Okay. I'm definitely hearing the J. Cole influence given the album art. Those drums are actually really dope. See what you're asking me about string libraries now. You might have better luck with whatever you're switching to if you have the option to hit the close mics instead of the far mics. But the mix is pretty clean, given the piano and the drums and shit. I think there could be some bass line going on. The strings were definitely the part I wasn't super into. Just the sound, the patch, like the sample. The string part was cool, but with a more realistic type library. I think that would work a lot better. Pretty dope though. Excellent start. That's for sure. Thanks for sending that in. 32 keys. I see now you must play a lot of keys. You always got a lot of piano in your shit. It's always dope. All right, 2 more real quick. These top 2. Dom, do you want to be next or do you want to be last? I'll play you last. All right. Next up, we got Louise. Is this a word? Indolescent? Let me get his SoundCloud going. Let's hear what he's got. Meek Mill type beat. The funny ass picture of Meek Mill. Oh boy. Oh Jesus. Choirs are super goofy, super corny. The snare sucks. Sounds like it's in a shoebox. The kick could work. Hi-hat's a little too loud. These are a lot of this is it's very melodramatic. Very, very melodramatic, just given the chord progressions and stuff. With the, choirs are like super, like hard to do good. I mean, even in Ham, when they got that choir, they hired that fucking choir to sing all like crazy Latin stuff. That was like almost too much, and that was that was doing the most as you could do it. And so these choirs are just corny to me. The drum sounds aren't spectacular. The snare is really the weakest link out of the drum kit. I don't hear any bass line that I like or anything. SS140 says it sounds like boss battle music in a video game. I would agree with part of that. Well, no, I mean, I would agree. Those choirs, I mean, it sounds like Bowser. The horns, yeah, the sounds are just a little Nintendo 64. No other way around it. But, I think with a lot of that corny factor could go away with some better sounds, a little bit tighter mix. But at the same time, a lot of that comes from the actual melodies. So, not terrible, but just little over the top. But, yeah, thanks. That was Indolescent. All right, we got one more. This is Dom. No SoundCloud for this one. His track, The Old Laughing Lady. Play the whole thing, please. All right, I'll play the whole thing. And then I gotta go make dinner. There's a quick little stream. Drums you chopped up sounds like that's a good basis for your drums. They got a good snap to them. I like the way you chop the drums. The sample's a bit oh shit, I didn't mean to pause it. Sample's a bit repetitive. Bassline has too much going on in a time sense. Shit, I keep pausing. Just filling up too much of the bar. It's not leaving any other rooms for anything else. Don't compare me to the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh dude. The way he says his name is so bad. I like this section a lot more than the other part with the chops. But the bass, I would simplify the bass for sure. People in the YouTube chat saying it's some Django Unchained shit. So yeah, I think the bass line was a bit messy. I liked the drums. I liked that drum loop, chopping it up. You can maybe add some more layer into the drums, but I would tighten up the bass line, lose half the notes, simplify it, and see what you can do to spice up those first chops. Not necessarily adding more chops, but when it just goes back and forth between those two, it's a little, I don't know. It's a little, not grating, but it loses its luster very quickly. But solid foundation. I mean, that sample's got a lot of potential, especially that end. If you use some of those parts where it's not singing the whole time, where they just have that first note on the downbeat, and you play it for the bar, and do that. But yeah, that's gonna close it up for today. This was just a little mini one. Check your. I'm probably gonna be clearing the queue tonight or tomorrow, so don't submit anything yet. Or if you do, just check that it's still in the queue. I'll be clearing it out. I'll be posting some I'll be letting you know when it's open. I'll probably limit the submission hours. See if that helps getting through everyone that submits, because not everyone shows up. But then I skip people, and then they're like, well, I was here, and then it's a mess. And I don't want to have to skip through the queue because I was a mess. So, yeah. Let me play this beat I made yesterday to play it off. That was a solid little. I feel like I went in depth today. So you're welcome for going in depth. Yeah, let me play this beat, and I'll catch y'all on Wednesday, and possibly between now and then for some beat making and recreations and shit. Yeah, and I'll put limits on it right now. I added some stuff where you don't accidentally duplicate. That was an accident. It wasn't y'all's fault. It wasn't showing up. Now to let you know, so you don't submit duplicates, or if you accidentally spam it, you have to wait like a minute or so. And I'll probably lock it down to submitting once a day, or I'll see what I do about once per stream. I don't know. I'll figure all that out. I'll let y'all know. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody, on YouTube and Twitch. Solid numbers for an off schedule Sunday stream. I'll definitely be limiting submissions per person, that's for sure. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. Check out this beat I made because it's tight, and I'll see y'all later. My favorite planner is John McEnroe, tennis player John McEnroe. Alright, later. I'm gonna let this play out. Later.